Welcome back. We're in the workshop. I'm Josh, and I'm here with Kyle Crawford, the brand manager for WorkSharp. We're talking about the Mk.2 Knife and Tool Sharpener.
Thanks for having me back on, Josh. I'm really excited to be here and share our exciting new product, the Knife and Tool Sharpener Mk.2. Why am I here? What do you want to know, man? What can I share?
Well, let's just dive in from the beginning. So the Mk.1, or the original knife and tool sharpener, been on the market 10 years. Yep. 11, 10, something like 2009. You were all over the country.
Yeah. Flying all over the country, showing and telling this new technology and this new product. It's been a fun decade and a lot of happy customers.
What makes the WorkSharp original and the Mk.2 so different from other electric knife sharpeners? It's obviously looks different, but what on the technology side did we do to make this really stand out?
One of the things we learned when we were developing the product was researching how knives are made. Flexible abrasive belts. Mm-hmm. And when we looked in the category, nobody was resharpening a knife that way. So it's this wide open space for us to have a disruptive technology proven by professionals. And then we applied it in a way that any home user can have that technology at home. So we've got the guides that interface with the flexible abrasive belts. Belts are easy to change. They come in different grits. And what that allowed us to do is expand the platform beyond knives. Most other electric knife sharpeners, Josh, they're knife sharpeners. Try your scissors.
Yeah.
Try your high curve blades. Try your axes. They're very limited to sharpening knives in a very different technology.
Yeah, a fixed guide or a slot, something that makes it a little more challenge, or even some of those large wheeled sharpeners. I think like a Tormek, where there's limited access to get inside of certain blade shapes.
Yep. Yeah, like this high curve blade, for example. If you're on a rigid diamond wheel and a slot-based sharpener, you're not going to get the entire length of the edge sharpened. And that was something that was important to us as knife users ourselves, but also for the customer. Flexible abrasive belts, they follow the curve of the edge, any shape, any blade. So it opened up this whole new set of solutions that we can deliver for the customer.
Yeah, when you say, well, I've got one right here. When you say flexible, sometimes we look at, they're flexible like this. So it does two things. It conforms to the edge angle when you drop your knife in the guide.
Correct.
But they're also flexible like this.
Yes. The way we talk about it is bendy and twisty. So to your point, yeah, we're getting the bend here in the belt, but we're also getting the twist.
Mm-hmm.
So those two come together. We've engineered the right spring tension, so we're getting the right surface pressure on the blade. Mm-hmm. We're controlling that through the journey with the guide, so the belt can just follow the curve of complex or simple blade shapes. No problem. And when we're talking to customers, they didn't want to sharpen just knives. Like, do you only sharpen knives at home, or do you have a wealth of other edged tools that you want to keep sharp?
Yeah, of course.
Right.
All sorts of.
Of course. We're DIY people, and we have a lot of stuff we want edges on. So we just kept exploring how far this technology could go, and landed at a really sweet price point that made it within reach for your average home user.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, whether you're bringing the tool to the sharpener, whether you can get a pair of bypass pruners in here behind the belt to sharpen that edge, or if you're bringing the sharpener to the tool, and with the rotating cassette now, just like we've showed in videos before, you can bring this to a hatchet or an axe that's clamped in a bench vise.
Absolutely. And I love that you use the word tool. You say tool.
Mm-hmm.
That's what this is. This isn't an appliance. This is unapologetically a tool. It makes grit. It makes dust. Yeah, it's a power tool, just like your skill saw makes sawdust. Huge difference in the category for us to find the customer who wants power tool level performance, but the ability to deliver incredibly precise, repeatable sharpening applications on their more coveted blades.
Yeah, really high level of precision and a workhorse, specifically with the different belt assortment that we provide getting into the coarse grit belts.
Huge advantage to be able to change the belts. Other sharpeners, they're just set. They may give you a progression, but you're limited to what they have decided for you for stage 1 and stage 2. With 3 different grits, we can sharpen your axe, we can touch up your pocket knife, or like you said, utility blades on the 6000 grit that just need a light hone. Applications are really limitless. As long as you can get that edge to the belt, you're going to get a sharp edge.
The Mk.1, or the original knife and tool sharpener, like we said, it's been on the market 10 years, so it was time. We collected feedback for basically those whole 10 years, and we turned your feedback into some key improvements on the Mk.2 knife and tool sharpener. There's 3 that I know of that are kind of the main places we focused. 1, we give 2 speed options.
Yep.
We changed the angle guides, so it's integrated with 2 different angle options instead of having 2 different guides. If you're like me, I might lose one of those. Honestly, I think I've misplaced the scissor guide.
Lost and misplaced. Good word choice, Josh.
And we delivered a front edge guide as well, which gives some great control as you're sharpening. But Kyle, you pioneered a lot of these changes. You listen to our customer more than anyone here. Talk about how these changes impact the experience that the customer has when sharpening knives.
Absolutely. With over 1.5 million units sold and a culture driven by continuous improvement and really listening to the customer, we've been feedback rich for a long time. We've gotten a lot right. And there's enough room for opportunity for improvement. Listening to the customers, having those experiences and those conversations, the solution path was very clear. People wanted more precision, more control, more repeatability. So as I dove into those conversations with the customers, let's start with the speed control, for example. Knife sharpening can be a bit intimidating to a beginner or intermediate level user. When you spool up a sharpener, it's intended to be a power tool. There can be a little bit of a moment where you're like, wow, okay, that's...
Yeah, I don't know if I want to bring my cherished blade
Right.
to a tool that's kind of growling at me.
Yeah. Speed control helps us solve for that. In this 2-speed machine on the Mk.2, we've got a much lower surface speed of the belt. It's more welcoming, it's less intimidating, it's more confidence inspiring. And a consistent theme in our user work is the pathway to success is comfort, confidence, and success. If I can get you comfortable in the sharpening journey, your confidence goes up. When your confidence goes up, your success goes up. So it's this very intentional pathway of creating a welcoming experience where the customer can be in here with their knife, low speed, high control. You're not hurried. You get very sharp, consistent edges with that speed control. But because we're a power tool, you still got to get all that heavy work done, right? Flick the switch to speed number 2. Change your belt to the green for your axes and your tools, and you're right back where you were with a power tool that can grind any edge you've got.
Fast metal removal when you need it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. The next improvement was in the sharpening guide, as you mentioned. I too, having 2 pieces to keep track of and to think about, it's just one additional factor for the customer to think about. So what we've done is put both angles in one guide. It's one
Seems
of those...
simple.
Seems simple, makes sense.
Yeah.
Why didn't we think of that sooner? We're here now. Flick the switch, 20 to 25 degree. You've got the same applications for your kitchen knives, your outdoor knives, your hunting knives. Now it's just done in one guide. Very quick changes. Of course, the guide still pops off.
Yep.
So you can remove it to get more belt access for your tools. And one thing we've added here on the guide, Josh, is pretty exciting. I had a lot of conversations with customers about scratches or marring down the side of their blade face. It's important to many customers, some not so much on a heavy work knife, but when you pull that kitchen knife out, you want to keep that blade face nice and pristine.
Yep.
Leather lined guides now, guys.
That's awesome. It shows, I think, just that, like you said, if the comfort level goes up using the machine, confidence follows and the success after that. Leather on the guide face gives a little more of that comfort.
It does.
This is a power tool. It's a workhorse, and you can dress it up with a tie, and it's ready to go and perform in a really precise way.
It has a real silky smooth feel when you're sharpening too. Just that low speed and that leather lined guide. It's a thing of beauty.
I would agree. On the original, we reference 50-degree knives and 40-degree knives. That's for the inclusive edge angle, the whole thing.
Correct.
On the Mk.2, we reference those as per side. And so they show up as 20 and 25 degree. 20 degree for kitchen, 25 degree for pocket knife, outdoor, or harder working blades.
Yep.
The same edge angles, just phrased in a different way.
Good point. What we did on the Mark 1 here is we have the two different guide styles. The open style for your outdoor and pocket knives. We want to get the full length of the blade sharpened so the belt goes right to the front of the guide. We don't want to leave that unsharpened section of the blade at the heel or the choil. And thumb studs. We've got to make accommodations for different shapes and types of knives. But when we went to kitchen knives and longer blades, you'll see there's a front side edge support. That helps support the knife as you're pulling through to give the user more control when you've got a longer pull. When we tested this early with customers, myself and the design engineer went out. We thought it was going to be an either or. Which one do you prefer? And it was a yes and. Customers love this for the outdoor knives because of the access, but the closed guide gave that front side support for the long knives.
Yeah.
So what we've done here is merge those into one single solution. The front side edge guide can be in the up position on your kitchen knives, for example. So it supports the knife all the way through the stroke, and you've got that really secure stopping point to stop in the middle of the belt. Very controlled.
Yep, your knife's not floating in space. It took a little bit of practice on the original as you've got the knife towards the end of the guide, and now all of a sudden it's floating in space while you're sharpening that tip. I love it for that addition.
Agreed. Maintaining factory profiles is key. We don't want to overgrind at the choil. We want to keep your tip nice and crisp. The edge guide solves for that. So much more control through the entire stroke. And you'll notice the guide faces have a back cut angle on them now. So that's going to accommodate
For the
your thumb studs.
Yeah.
Right? So I can still get the full length of the blade up onto the belt. My thumb stud is clear. And to your point, Josh, I'm not hovering in space now. I have complete control all the way to the tip to maintain a perfect factory profile every time I sharpen.
Consistency is key so that you know you get the same results when you go back and sharpen every time.
Absolutely. And some knives, there may be an obstruction or a different type of knife that you want the edge guide out of the way. No problem.
Yep.
Clicks down out of the way. Now you've got full access. Now you are going to be in that space where you're using that muscle memory to pull through. But thanks to the learning curve with the edge guide being there, you'll get a feel for that very quickly and be even more successful when that is down out of the way. And it tucks out of the way for your tools.
Tools, belt changes.
So we can still come here, edge guides out of the way, sharpening
full
guides out of the way.
access.
I got full access to be a grinder. Still all the versatility, increased ease of use, increased performance, increased repeatability. It's exciting to take an already awesome product and just take it to the next level thanks to you. You told us what you wanted and we've been able to incorporate it.
That's the most fun for me, to be able to see and listen to either customers that we get to meet out on the road at shows or comments that we get on our YouTube or social media channels and hear all of that, and for the past year or so listen and say, oh, I know that we're working on this, and just feeding it over to this guy and the team who's working on it so that we can build a sharpener that we're truly proud of, that we think solves some of the issues and feedback points that we've been hearing. It truly is an evolution of the original. It's very similar in the technology it delivers, and it goes above and beyond with some subtle changes that really step up the sharpening game.
Absolutely.
If someone's coming in the front door of WorkSharp, not that we're a retail store, but if they're coming in the front door and they say, okay, that's great, I heard about this Mark II, what else do you have? And I think I like this one. Is it for me? Who's the customer that we really designed this for?
Great question. It's a very common one. The first thing I want to learn about what sharpener is right for you is, what do you want to sharpen and what geometry do you want to create? So I'll ask, what do you want to sharpen? Is it your pocket knife, your hunting knife, your kitchen knife, your axes, your lawn and garden tools? To what edge angles? For those who want to just sharpen their kitchen knives, their pocket knives, and they understand the difference in edge angle. They understand, okay, my kitchen knives are at a different angle at or about 20 degrees, but my outdoor and pocket knives are at a wider angle. If there's an awareness to that difference, this is the machine for you because we've got that choice. Sharpens tools, sharpens scissors, kitchen knives, and outdoor knives. It's fast, easy to use, and it's at a price point that's within reach. By the time you sharpen your kitchen knife, your pocket knife, and your lawnmower blade, don't forget your household scissors.
Yep.
The machine's paid for itself.
Easily paid for itself.
Very solid value proposition with a very clear solution set for the DIY customer. Those who want increased simplicity, they just think a knife is a knife. I just want a sharp edge. We have a different sharpener for you that's going to be simpler and easier to use. And then we have a higher end customer who understands the next level of edge angle geometry. They have a knife that's at 17 degrees. They have another knife that's at 23 degrees. They want variable speed control. They want more grit progressions and higher levels of edge refinement. We've got another model for you. So this really lands squarely in the product line for people who want fast, easy, repeatable kitchen knives, pocket knives, and a wide range of tools.
You nailed it. It's a DIY customer who understands some versatility and difference, but really they want to get in, get sharp, and then get back to work. The Mark II it truly is an evolution of our bestseller. You said what, 1.5 million units sold?
Yep.
It's been quite a driver for our business. And it's really awesome to have created a sharpening community out there and a customer base that we enjoy interacting with. We're really proud to bring you the Mark II and see what you guys think and keep that feedback coming in. We're going to continue to evolve our sharpeners to make sure that we give you the best sharpening tools so that your edges are sharp and you can get on with whatever you're cutting. Kyle, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me. I'm so excited we finally get to talk about it, Josh. We've been working so hard on this for a long time, a lot of late nights. The team has been working so hard to get us here. It feels great to be able to get this cat out of the bag, get talking about it, get sharing it, and let you guys know all our hard work is coming right at you.
The Mark II is available in stores on April 1st. You should be able to find it at sporting goods and hardware stores across the country, as well as on Amazon and worksharptools.com. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you back here next week in the workshop.